Yo, what's going on, E7 fam? Pat here, back with another video, and in this one we're going to take the second half community-driven survey by Duke Josh, and like a lot of other videos in this segment, let's talk about it together. Yeah, this is a really important survey. This is not an official survey put out by Malagora and Super Creative. This is by Duke Josh. Josh has been doing these surveys for a while now for the community, and a lot of the stuff that gets put in these surveys, a lot of the responses actually do end up making it into the game. As you can see, last time we did the survey, we had over 4,000 responses, and we saw roughly 70% of the items on the list be implemented in Epic 7 in some shape or form. So if you have any gripes or problems with Epic 7, this is the survey to fill out to let your voices be heard. Yes, there's normally official ones, but I don't really feel like a lot of that comes to pass. But again, the data here is, kind of proving that Josh's surveys do end up doing a lot of positive good for our game and for community. And for that, I want to thank him. Truly one of the unsung heroes of our entire community. If you want to take it along with me, I'll link it down in this video's description. So definitely make sure you have your voices heard. Share it with your friends, your guildmates. Let everyone be heard. And with that out of the way, let's have some fun and answer some questions, shall we? First up, how long have you been playing Epic 7? I am a day one player, so the maximum amount of time. What rank are you in World Arena usually? Emperor. I am currently an Emperor, and I have been Emperor a lot of times at this point, as evidenced by the account reviews on my channel. How do you feel about Malagora costs of 4-star units? Too damn high. So currently, in Epic 7, we have 5 stars, broken 5 stars, aka specialty change 3 stars, 3 stars, which are just broken 5 stars in waiting, and then we have garbage, aka 4 stars, because they have worse stats than 5 stars and they can't be specialty changed, so they can't become potentially broken 5 stars. So that's why Malagora cost for 4 stars is too high. It should not cost a single Malagora on a 4-star unit unless they get some form of specialty change or upgrade. Just too much. Do you think Malagora reset should be introduced? Absolutely. So, right now, we're in year 5 of Epic 7. I think the biggest things are making sure that games are accessible. You make sure that you can retain your current players, and I think you focus on balance. So, in order for games to be fun and more accessible, you need to get rid of Malagoras, I feel like, entirely, or very close to it, because it's kind of just a time gate at this point. When it first came out, it was to make sure that people didn't have too large of a roster. Malagora nowadays in year 5, if you don't make them insanely plentiful or don't offer a lot of resets, then you'll never catch up. And anybody who's jumping into the game, the young bloods as we'll call them, if they feel like they can't compete, they can't catch up, they can't clear things, they'll leave for another newer looking game, another better game potentially than what Epic 7 has to offer. So you need to make that wall that they're facing not feel so insurmountable coming into year 5. They need to make it so that it's really easy to catch up. And one of the ways we could do that is giving us Malagora resets or more plentiful access to Malagoras. Do you think there should be a benefit for reaching Friendship 10 on 3-star units? Bro, I don't care, bro. I come from Fate Grand Order. We out here getting a PNG artifact with no effect for getting our 3 stars to Bond 10, and we're excited about that. We don't give a crap. Maybe give us a leaf or something? I don't know. Like, that's pretty much it. But yeah, no, I super don't care in the slightest about Friendship 10 on 3-star units. Do you think critical hit chance imprint should be raised from 16.8% to 17%? Yes, because decibels are stupid. I don't want to have to be like, oh, look at my Remnant Violet with his 99.4% crit chance, and then I lose the game because of it. Just make them whole numbers. It just makes everything easier for everyone involved. How do you feel about the function of effect resistance as a stat? Oh boy, here's a good one. It does not feel good or useful in the slightest. Okay, so right now, if you're not aware of how high level play goes in E7, you either get rushed down by the aggro draft or you get controlled by the control draft. And the control draft feels downright infuriating to play against because you don't get to do anything. You gotta hope and pray that you 15% something because you ain't getting to play. And that's largely because cleansers in this game kind of suck. It's Mediator Koeric who can't be debuffed, right? And even then, we have, like, answers to him like Sharoon. So it's like, oh, I debuff. Oh, well, here, get hit with more debuffs. So he's, like, the best stopgap. And even then, he doesn't feel up to the task. A lot of people that I've seen in Legend are saying things like Edward's just not enough anymore because you could just overload him with debuffs and he can't actually deal with the amount that he gets hit with. Basically, the only good effect resistance stat builder in the game is Destina because she starts with some base. She has the imprint. She gets a boatload to start. And her kit is honestly just kind of worth going for it. So, yeah. It's just Destina. Everyone else just feels garbage. Like, you build your 220 speed... Or not 20 speed, I'm sorry, 220 effect resistance cleanser, right? Like, I got my 220 ER DJB, and then Pirate Captain Flad just bombs him anyway, and you're like, wow. It's so great that the debuffers can build at the same rate as the effect resistance. Like, it's just not good, yeah. Okay, here we go. Next question. Do you feel that effect resistance versus effect resistance relationship needs a rework? Yes, so, for those of you who have, been around for a while, if you know me from the Dragon Ball days, I used to have an audio segment that I did. It was kind of like a little mini rant that I had called Why Senzu Bean Carries Dragon Ball Super on its back. And the crux of that entire argument, you don't need to know anything about Dragon Ball, is that there needs to be a specific relationship between building offense and building defense in a game. If it is inherently strictly better to build the offense, the offensive stat, then it's just better to go all in on the one thing because it just wins the game. Whereas building the defensive stat just helps you not lose the game. So if like defense is not slightly skewed in its cost versus like benefit ratio, then I feel like everyone would just play aggro or in this case control, right? Like inherently, you have 100% effectiveness by default versus everything. Right? So, in order to nullify debuffs coming from a DPS building no effectiveness, I need 100 ER. So, I need to dedicate 100 gear score worth of stuff just to be on the same level. So, if you built a 200 effectiveness Pirate Captain Flan, you dedicated 200 gear score worth of effectiveness to debuffing, I must invest 300 gear score to block it. At that point, just throw it out the window. If I had the ability to, I would just be the faster control player. I would just build speed and run you over. Like, it just mathematically, it makes no sense to build ER. It's been so bad for so long. I don't know if it's necessarily correct to make them 1-to-1, right? Where, like, effectiveness starts from a place of 0%, because you don't want skills to not land, because then it just makes control characters feel terrible, and it just makes skills in the game feel terrible. But there has to be a compromise, because right now, you dedicate, like, I don't even know, it's like 8% is one roll for ER. So, like, just think about that. That's like, you have to dedicate 13 rolls of gear on a cleanser to match just what people inherently have, like, beat what people inherently have. That's garbage, bro. Like, that's terrible. That is a terrible, terrible relationship. Yeah, so this one definitely needs to be looked at. Would you like the ability to assign specific language, voice actors, and backgrounds to individual units? Hell yes. Hell yes. Okay. I'd like to add specific backgrounds. So you're talking about, like... Okay, so you're talking about... Yeah. But yeah, please, like... I'm going to specifically single this one out. Like... I need this, bro. Like, one of my favorite features in a game was from Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I think just regular MVC3 had this as well, where you could pick if you wanted the English or the Japanese voice for each character. So, like, we could come into it and I could say, like, oh, I want, DC Douglas to be the voice of Wesker. And I want Laura Bailey to be the voice of Chun-Li, but maybe I don't really want Ryu to be voiced by Kyle, right? I would prefer his Japanese voice. And I could do that, and that was great. And we have characters in Epic 7 where I would like this option as well. Like, Dark Corvus is a perfect example. Matthew Mercer is the English voice. Amazing. But Wakamoto-san is the voice for the Japanese version of Dark Corvus, and that is perfect sell, guys. Like, that's, like, anime villain tier VA. Like, that is so evil, and that's the feeling I want from Dark Corvus. So I want to use my JP Dark Corvus and be able to use my, like, you know, my English Surmia as Jeremy Lee, even though I know a lot of people like, you know, Kana Ueda as Surmia. So I think that having that option is really good because Epic 7 has a really fantastic dub, and I feel like a lot of people could have a lot of flexibility in this where, like, they might go KR voice on one, JP on another, English on another, and, like, we could really see, you know, when you watch, like, your favorite streamers, if they play with the sound on, you can kind of see where their preferences are. I think that'd just be really cool. Of course, I am pretty much, like, the voiceover artist nerd amongst the Epic 7 content creators, so for me, this is a big, big deal. How do you feel about the amount of Malagoras players are able to earn monthly? I'm indifferent about this because I bought, you know, a lot of Mullo packs when I first started to try and get ahead of the curve. But now that I'm a veteran, I don't care. So in other words, I'm going to choose this one. We don't get enough monthly because it helps out the newer players. And that's important to me. I think it's really important that new players who are coming into the game have the ability to play the heroes that they want to play in a timely fashion and not feel like they're being time gated or the game is just honestly dicking them over. Malagora is honestly a pretty, you know, bad system. I feel like to have 5, you know, years into a game, I think we could start to think about abolishing this because you're not going to have these young bloods coming into the game and sticking around for very long if they feel like they can't accomplish anything. Like if they feel like they can't get characters, if they feel like it's too difficult to get gear, if they feel like they can't level their skills, they're going to go, bro, why am I playing this game? I could be playing Honkai Star Rail or Goddess of Victory, Nikkei, or, oh, you know, any of the other gacha games that are on the horizon that are coming out. Oh, I'll just wait for that. And they'll leave, and that's not good because if you want the 10-year plan, TM as they call it, to actually be a real thing, you need young blood. You need new players coming into your game. So I think it's just only right that if you have people joining your game into year 5, you should be grateful and make it a lot more accessible for them, no? Do you think Grace of Growth needs to be a plus 15 instead of plus 12? Yes, because, oh my god, plus 12. Like, nobody is out here going to be playing against somebody that's Grace of Growth on ladder and be like, damn, bro, if only that, you know, new limited Lilius that's coming out, if only she wasn't plus 15 from Grace of Growth, I would have won. Nobody's thinking that. When a character comes out, everybody wants to slam the character at plus 15 and go, is it worth? Oh, damn, this Lilius is pretty good. Let me take her out of my Grace of Growth and start, you know, getting the Catalyst of Malagoras in order. Oh, this Lilius isn't that good? All right, well, then I guess we just bench her. And then, you know, I'll Grace of Growth another character that I've had waiting in the wings for a bit. It makes no sense that it's plus 12. It just hurts us all as a community. Do you think Grace of Growth should have additional slots? No, I actually think it's fine as is. I think 1 is fine. I think when you start asking for things like, I want 3 slots, like, you're just being lazy, bro. Like, the point of Grace of Growth is like, throw it in there, see if you like it. Oh, it's good? All right, let's get to work and start building the thing. Do you think Grace of Growth cooldown should be... Hell yes. 72 hours is backbreaking, man. It makes it so difficult for me specifically, like, if I've got, like, work-related stuff, like, we had Brieg the other night, I didn't think, like, oh, man, like, what if I get Brieg? Am I going to be able to stream Wednesday? Oh, I am going to be streaming Wednesday. Damn, like, I didn't take the thing out of the Grace of Growth. If I pull Brieg, like, what am I going to do? Like, and that just makes it difficult for me to be able to make content for y'all. Like, so why is this a thing? I think a 12-hour cooldown is fine. I think 12 hours in advance is enough where it's not going to massively impact specific stuff. Right? 24 at the maximum. 72 is just brutal. Do you think innate dual attack chance needed to be adjusted? Yes. Remove it. I've seen too many games at high level be decided by dual attacks. Same thing with, like, you know, even the World Championship. There's just unfortunate dual attacks from time to time. And I think that takes a lot of skill out of the game. It adds a lot more RNG to the game than it already has with like debuffs, proccing, counter sets, Elbrus, Ritual Sword, things like that, right? Excuse me. So removing it makes the game, I feel like, more skillful, and it gives more power to the Unity set, because that way I know if I get dual attacked and I lose, it's because my opponent made the conscious effort to give up stats to have the ability to, you know, Hail Mary that dual attack chance. That's why I think this should just be removed, and you set it to Unity set. I think you may change Unity set to be 10% or 11%. Just remove it. And I think that would be great because, again, it gives Unity more value, and it lets the opponent know when you dual attack, yes, it's RNG, but it was a conscious, planned effort by your opponent that you got RNG'd and lost. Like, they consciously gave up. Like, if I get dueled by a Spectre and I lose, I know, damn, he didn't hard commit to more damage on pen set, or like, he didn't hard commit to immunity to protect from debuffs. He hard committed for that YOLO chance. How do you feel about the current state of release of specialty change? It's way too damn slow. How often do you think that specialty changes should be released? Honestly, I think bi-monthly would be great, but I don't realistically think that they can do this, because a 5-star character in Epic 7 is a new sprite with new abilities and new animations, right? A specialty change character is one new ability with like 10 passives, but a new sprite and a new animation. So when you think about it, specialty change characters cost the studio more to make than new characters. And because they're specialty change characters off 3 stars, they return $0 on Smilegate and Super Creative's investment. So there's no incentive for them to make specialty change characters come out faster. Because if it was me, if I'm being real, y'all, I would say every month. I think that'd be pretty sick, because I like new characters, and specialty change characters generally are always really good. Who would have thought? They have 10 passives or whatever, right? So, of course, they're going to be insane compared to other 5 stars. They have a better chance of impacting the game. But if I'm being real, like, quarterly is probably all I think we can really sustain with the current team and the way things currently are. Because, again, it's kind of like a money loss to make specialty changes for them, but specialty changes are one of the best parts of the game because they're usually really strong because they have so many variables attached to them, and everyone gets them. So it feels pretty good. Like, even though ROL is like a completely overtuned unit, it feels like at times, everyone has access to her, so it's not that big of a deal, right? So I think I'm going to stick with bi-monthly, even though I think quarterly is really realistically where we're going to end up. How much do you enjoy getting a new specialty change? If it's not obvious, I want it more than a new 5-star. That is so obvious. Like, because the thing is, new 5-star, like Brig, cool. Reads good on paper. You play it, probably not there. Oh, he's missing something? It sucks to suck. But specialty changes, rarely do I ever feel like, oh, it's missing something. Like, it's either really good at a specific niche, or it's just like, damn, it has so much stuff stapled to the kit. We're eating good. So I like seeing new specialty changes. How do you feel about specialty changes being done in groups? Rest of Banshee Sisters at once, Dragon Knight Girls at once. Yeah, I think this was a good idea. Yeah, let's go not large batches. I'd like to see like 2 to 3 at a time. Like, I think asking for like 2 minimum, possibly 3 specialty changes every 3 months. I think that is a fair ask from your player base. What units do you want to be specially changed the most? Easiest Mirsa of my life. Been wanting Mirsa and Carrot since, like, I first heard about specialty changes with Falcon or Clury back when the game came out. Like, so obvious Mirsa is the play. Really used to love playing that character a lot back in the day, but like I don't cleave anymore, so there's not really a reason for me to do so. Sorry about that. There's like a bit of thunder. I guess there's like a storm outside while I'm recording this. Well, apologies for any audio hiccups that it may cause. Currently, if you receive a unit from a ticket or coin shop and then receive that unit again from a ticket, assuming you didn't pulsate, you do not receive it. Should be absolutely. This is so frustrating. I have about like potentially 30 coins lost as a result of this thing. Do you want to be able to sort units by zodiac sign? Hell yes. Jeez, dude. This is so frustrating. Like, this is a content creator specific change. Like, please, I'm begging you guys, vote for this, even though I know it affects none of y'all. But like, it's so annoying to be like, Last Rider Crow is a light knight of the Pisces zodiac symbol, which means he shares a stat line with is it just Crow? And then you have to like go over here and you just open up Google and you just like, and then you just have to look it up. And it sucks when I know, because I've done programming before, that this is literally just, I'll take the algorithm that we already have and say sort by variable attack, sort by variable zodiac sign. This probably takes like 10 minutes to implement, not even. Please rate how much of the following unreleased heroes are released on a scale of 1 to 5. Of course, Brynnis is number 1. I'm going to put Brynnis as 1, dude. Alright, so here's my logic, right? Brynnis has been done. Like, the model, the animations, like, the S3, like, attacks, all that stuff. That's been done since episode 2. We're in episode 5, so it's, like, almost 3 years and we haven't gotten this character yet. And the memes that have spawned out of us not getting Brynnis have been so funny that I think it'd just be really funny if, like, Brynnis came out as, like, a Moonlight 5-star, like, in the last year of the game before it EOS'd, as, like, this super broken whale unit. So, like, I want Brynnis to, like, go, like, 8 years before she comes out. Like, we're, like, on episode 8. We're, like, near the end of episode 8, and they're like, yeah, Brynnis is the next ML 5-star, and she's just super broken, dude. I think that would be so funny. Kitsune Girls for episode 4. So this is the Fox Girls, so if you don't know what Kitsune is. We'll say a 3. I really like Tamamo no Mae from Fate Grand Order. That is definitely somebody I love, but I think I love her for her snarkiness overall. So I don't know if it's necessarily I like Fox Girls so much as I like the character itself. And I'm a big Wadarko fan, so yeah, I think we'll go neutral on this one. Artena, I believe this is the Blacksmith. I think we go with 2 on this one. New RGB 4-star heroes. That is a fast one because, again, 4 stars suck in Epic 7. Adult Penelope. I'm going to say 4 because I want to see how they played this off. Because, like, playable Penelope is Penelope in the past when she didn't get injured. The lore for adult Penelope is that she can no longer fight because, like, she has some injury that makes her incapacitated, like, unable to do the job. I just want to see, like, they wrote themselves in a corner with that one. Like, they didn't have to make Penelope the 3-star. They could have literally picked anyone else. But they're like, yeah, we chose a 3-star. And then we made it so that her lore made it so we can't really make her a specialty change. I just want to see how they write themselves out of that bag. Mage Luna, that's a snap 5. Can I pick 6? Can I pick a 6? Can I, like, weight this higher? Can this go 10? This is my most wanted, for those of you who don't know, this is my most wanted unit, is ML 5-star Luna. I want a competitively viable Luna at top level. That's what I want. Vera, in her human form, I'm indifferent about this one. Actually, I'm going to say, yeah, I'll give her a 4 only because I want to see the Hero of Summer. I want him more. I want Vera is a 3. Hero of Summer is a 5, but we'll go Vera as a 4. You know what? Other? Hero of Summer, bro. I want that dude. I want the bug man. I want Kamen Rider, bro. Do you think the older 5-star heroes need their S3 animations? Yes, they do. Because what I did, the which RGB 5-star video last week, it became really apparent when looking at my girl Cecilia. She has not aged the best. That line work is rough, and you could tell it's like 6 years old. Because obviously, they did it before the game even came out. How do you feel about Spirit Bloom? I like it. I think it's good. Good change. Do you want gear loadouts? Absolutely, yes, I want a gear loadout. It's so annoying. Gear loadout. So what is the difference? The ability to set a gear to a character or This is a bit harder to implement, so I'm going to say this one. I'll say the top one. So the difference is basically you have like, this one is like, oh, here's my tank ran gear and here's my speed ran gear, right? Like speed is your default, but if you want to like switch it up on them, you pivot to the tank loadout gear to kind of mess with them, right? That's a thing. But this one would be like, oh, all my best speed gear saved as one loadout. Or I put my best speed gear on Kisei. Oh, Kisei's not meta. I put it on Corinne, so on and so forth. I think it's a bit easier to do the top one. Should the slider be removed from Charms Get? Yeah, and revert to be. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Remove from both. Oh my god, that change sucked. Do you think excess EXP when rolling gear should be converted and stored? Yeah, I think gear dust is also easier, but yes. Every other Nikkei, if Nikkei can do this, Epic 7 can do this for us, bro. How do you feel about the equipment dust update, specifically dust? I find this update to be beneficial. It is so good. All right. Should the auto enhance probably dust before charms? Absolutely, bro. I do not want you to use my charms first. I want to hold those as long as possible. Or at least give me the option, right? Should there be an option for auto enhance not to use universal or epic charms? Yes. Sometimes I want to hold that stuff. How often do you think Arteta's crafting out should be held? Bi-monthly, bro. Actually, dude, monthly, dude. The gear grind in this game sucks. Like, let's be real here. You need 6 pieces of gear for a character. If you told me I get 1 perfect piece for a month, I get 1/6 of a character in a month. I could make a character every 6 months if I get unlucky. Like, come on, bro. Like it should just be monthly. Monthly at minimum. Every 30 days. Minimum. Do you think mod gems need quality of life to how they function? Yes, mod gems should guarantee at least one. Yeah, they need to increase at least 1% from where you had. It's so frustrating to go through like 5-6 boxes and get nothing. This one is a bit asking much. Like, this is what it should be. Let's be real here. But they're not going to do that. So, 1% increase, I think, is a fine quality of life. Because, like, they're likely to give you this, right? They're never giving you this. How do you feel about the acquisition rate of modification gems overall from sources? I think it is a little too low. I think it's very stingy to get the specific one you want when you consider how many variables there just actually are. And you only get 1 per for each expedition you do. How do you feel about the cube cost to create mod gems in the Alco Steeple? I'm going to say mod gems. I'm going to say it's too high. Not that I feel like it's too high, but again, anything that makes the burden of gear easier on players, I'm going to vote for. How do you feel about the cube cost to create charms in the Alchemist Steeple? We're going to say same thing for the same reason. I just want to make gearing as easy and painless as possible for all players. Should stat reroll gems be added to more content? Yes, bro. Like, why is this not a standard feature to begin with? How do you feel about stat reroll gems being sold in the cash shop? I don't like it being sold there. I would prefer that they're more accessible to other players. Do you want stat reroll stones to be usable in 88 gear? Yes. Again, make my gearing as easy as possible, please. It's so frustrating. Do you think the Unity set needs to be adjusted again? But only, yeah, this one. Yes, it should be buffed, but only if lowered or removed. I think Unity is the most underplayed set right now. I think it is actually quite good. Do you think Immunity needs to be revamped? Yeah. One of these, like... One of these. I don't even know if this does enough. Unstrippable would be fine. This might be too strong. I'll be real for a second. I'm gonna vote for this, but I think this is actually too strong. I think this is actually too strong. Like this will actually shift a lot of power to turn 2 if I say this, and if this actually happens. But like, the general power creep has gotten side of hand, and I'm just so sick of just like everything being like, I go fast, I blow you up at the start. Like, I know people will like hate me for saying this, but like I think if the game devolved into standard versus standard, that wouldn't be the worst thing because it's called standard for a reason. It's the default mode of play. Exclusive equipments currently count towards your gear stores limit. Should this restriction be removed? Yes. Should that not count towards it? It's ridiculous. The thing is, I'm gonna say this. I don't think they will do this. You know why? Because I think exclusive equipments take up slots in the unit engine's memory, and therefore they can't actually be changed. They have to count towards the limit. I think it's a limitation of the game engine. Do you think we should increase the number of available bottles per rotation? Not buy, earn. Earn, not buy. Because 240 powder is a steep ask for non-whales and non-veterans. If you make it so you can only buy more bottles with powder, the gap between the haves and have-nots gets way too big. Everyone should be able to earn an additional bottle. Whether that's through like conquest points or, you know, ancient coins, something. But no, you should not be able to buy more because that's saying whales get more every month. Which of these options regarding limited artifacts should be implemented, if any? Increase the buyable limit with powdered limited artifacts. Increase the artifact drops. Please, this. Artifact pity counter is good. Yeah, these two I think are good. Increase the drop rate and this. Like, yeah, and remove off banner. All this. All this. Literally all of this. It's so obnoxious, all of this stuff. Do you think normal banners should include an artifact pity? I'm indifferent on this one. For like RGB ones, I'm indifferent on this one. So I'm just going to leave it there. Do you think flat stats need an adjustment? They should be buffed. Yeah, I'm... Let's say flat stats should be removed from main stat on the right side. That's kind of really bad. Similar to heroes giving blooms when fed. Should limit breaking artifacts with dupes give powder of knowledge. Yes, that would actually make things a lot easier. How do you feel about the gear score UI added to gear? I like being able to see the gear score. Yeah. Yes, this is fine with me. It doesn't need to be a 1-to-1 for how everyone else scores it. Do you want an equipment score UI added to the Reforge screen? Yes. Like, why do I have to manually calculate it every time? Oh, man. Do you think the RTA needs daily, weekly seasonal rewards? Yeah. I think it should give additional seasonal rewards. Some combination. It should give more than just the skin for the people who really push into it. And, like, I know people are scared of PvP and they don't want to go towards PvP. But, like, I really do think that this is, like, an area where you want some more... You want something. We need more to encourage participation. I know people hated when you got daily energy for playing it, but it got the player base playing the game. And unfortunately, like only 10% of the game, the players right now play RTA. And I really wish it was closer to like 40 or 50%. I do think it's the most fun game mode. It's really addictive once you get into it. I just feel like the barrier to entry is just too high for people. Like they're just scared off of it because they don't have all these ML5s. They don't have the gear. They don't have a lot of speed. It's a lot to ask your player base to get into the game. Like Epic 7 is a pretty tough game, I feel like. Do you want an RTA shop? Good to say indifferent on this one. I actually do, but I think they'll implement it wrong. How do you think RTA shop points should be earned? Set amount based per match. Set amount per match, so it's just how much you play. Yeah. If an RTA shop is set, how many points should you be able to acquire? I don't think there should be a cap. Just get people to play. The whole point of the RTA shop is to get people on the ladder, bro. Just get people on the ladder. It's like a side story, bro. Just grind ladder just so that way you can get points to get your stuff. Do you think ranks above gold should gain conquest points as well? Sure. It makes gearing easier, so therefore I'm going to say yes. Yes, absolutely RTA needs 3 pre-bans. If you're not going to nerf stuff, give me 5 pre-bans. 5 ain't even enough at this point, man. When do you think the current or additional pre-ban should be implemented rank-wise? Challenger Plus. We'll just say current because I don't want to make it harder to get into for newer players. When units are displayed in RTA draft, should you be able to see what artifact they have equipped? This is your unit specifically. Yes. I think that's visibility. That's a UI thing, sure. Do you think there should be rotating global bans? Seasonal, monthly, or weekly? This is tough. I don't like the way that they did this. Player voted versus SG stat-based ones. I think it should be monthly global bans based on Smilegate's inner stats because that way you can't have like an argument. Like one of the things that I really like about the card game Flesh and Blood, even though I don't play it, is their living legend system where whenever a character does really well, they accumulate points. And once they pass a certain threshold, the creators of the game say, sorry, it's past the threshold. It's banned. You can't play it. And there's no arguments whatsoever about it. It's not like, oh, I think X character is broken. Why aren't they banned? It's, oh, well, the data says they're broken. You can't play them. And I think that's such a genius way of doing it because it removes all of the banter about it. Everyone just sits there and goes, well, if it does well for the next like week or two, then we know it's living legend, and then we don't have to deal with it anymore. So let's plan for a format 2 weeks from now when we know it's gone. I think that if they are transparent with the data of the game on a month-to-month basis, that's the best way to do it. Do you think Frenzy should be updated? Yes, absolutely. Oh, man. Actually, you know what? Seasonally would be good. I think it'd be really cool if, like, for example, if, like, this past season, the one we're in right now, the one's based on No Defect City. Why the hell does the Frenzy not help the No Defect City characters? Like, they need to be more creative with their Frenzy choices in this game. How do you feel about adding separate RTA game modes? I like SU to start. Yes, I think that's a good idea. More game modes is always good. Increases player retention, gets people playing the game we all love more. Would you like a lobby warning / notification to indicate when RTA rank is going to cut? Yes, I hate having to go into Arena to know this. Like, why is that not a thing? Would you like a staggered banning system for RTA akin to something like League of Legends? Isn't this a Dota mechanic? I haven't played League in a while, so let me know in the comments below. But I think a staggered ban would be fine, where like I have first pick, then you pick 2, I pick 3, and then after I pick 3, we each get one more ban. So I go like, well, I'm screwed if he goes Leica Straze here, so I'm gonna strike Leica. So that way, if he tries to go Straze, I'm good. Like that's just a high skill cap thing. This increases the skill cap of the game, so yes. Should Mystic Reset BW Guild Wars seasons be removed? Yeah, okay, so this is saying like, yeah, yes, it should be removed. It should basically be like, because like when we start a new season of Guild Wars, you go from like 85 to or so mystics per game to like 15. And that sucks for veteran players. Currently, if a player joins Ancient Inherited Slate and a guild chest has been opened, they're unable to receive the reward. Should this restriction be... Yes. Jeez, dude. I actually missed out on the leaves from this from my own guild because I logged in late. Should guild leaders be able to see weekly completion status contribution of individual members? I'm indifferent on this one, even though I'm basically like a co-captain of a guild. Should Guild Wars be revamped? Yes, completely. I think Guild Wars sucks right now. There's not really a reason. Like, it's very whatever. How do you feel about the rewards in regards to it? The rewards are low, but removing Mystic Reset would make them adequate. I'm going to say they're going to be adequate. I think Guild Wars is a bad system that needs to be revamped, but I don't think you can make it so that the top 100 guilds just have, like, exclusive skins and a bunch of other stuff around you. Because what's going to end up happening is if that happens, like, a lot of guilds will disband, and a lot of power will consolidate into what's already a pretty consolidated top end. Like, you'll see people go to... You know, your Veritases, your Fleets, your Lifes, your Talentlesses, right? Everyone will just be clamoring to be in a top guild to get those rewards. And they won't ally with their friends anymore because they'll feel like they're being punished otherwise. And it'll negatively impact, I think, the demeanor around the game entirely. How much fun do you have competing in Guild War? 2. I think it's just an RNG fiesta that I just do for Mystics. How do you feel about customization of the Guild Hall, Guild Towers being added? Sure. Customization's fine. I like player expression. Do you think all guild artifacts should have the limit increased to 2? Yes. Please, I need another symbol so bad. How do you feel about new guild shop artifacts being added? Yes, but only if the commander armband income is increased because it's pretty atrocious for new players. It needs to be increased. How do you feel about the difficulty of guild weekly mission progress? I'm going to say this one. It's too difficult. Even though my guild always gets all of the rewards, sometimes we come very close to not, and we're like a decently active guild, so I imagine that lower level guilds are going to struggle with this, so I'm going to pick this one. Because I think it'll be most beneficial to them. Do you want the greater achievement update for guilds to be completed? I'm indifferent on this one. This is like the greater achievement. This is like your trophy room that's like, yeah, we were... our greater achievement was we were the #1 guild this season for Talentless or whatever. Whatever, dude. As long as it doesn't have any, like, crazy non-cosmetic impact. Like, if it gives an exclusive... Okay, I should non-cosmetic impact. But, like, if it gives, like, an exclusive skin, it's going to cause that same frenzy. Like, because people are going to want to join your guild just to be in for that one season to get that one skin. And it's going to be so annoying, and it's going to consolidate the player base. Should there be a rejoin battle progress for Guild War for when players... Yes, please, dude. I'm like... Because the game crashes all the time. Auto betting instead of carry between fights. Would you like to see each battle default to manual instead? I'm indifferent on this one. Tristan might know better. Would you like a replay option added to Guild War? I'll say yes because I think it helps content creators like Lucent Azure. And I think Lucent needs some love, bro. I think he's a good dude. And he deserves more viewers. Do you want to teleport the boss option added to Nightmare Raid? Hell yes, bro. I'm so annoyed about that, having to walk. Do you think mod gem boxes given out in Expedition should be changed to set specific to selectors? Sure, yes. Again, all about gearing easier. How do you feel in regards to normal Expedition reward tracks? I think it could give more. I will say it's too little, and that's only because I think that the amount of manifestation stones is too low. I think it is too difficult to reforge blue box gear, the ones that need manifestation stones. It's too difficult. How do you feel in regards to the Skystone version of the Expedition track? Yeah, I think the rewards for the premium suck, on if I'm being real with you. Do you think it should be more at? Yes, at this point in the game, especially post Spirit Bloom update, I am flush with silver transit stones. I constantly have over 500. Previously, I never had more than like 100 or 200. Gear reroll materials. Like, that's a great way to start. Do you think additional Breath of Orbis should be added in order to be able to complete the Sanctuary? Sure, because it makes, again, quality of life easier for players. No, I actually think the pet system is pretty good right now. Aside from being able to get the specific AS skills or whatever that you're looking for, I think it's pretty obtainable now to, if you're diligent about it, to be able to get a 5-star pet and a decent amount of chime. How do you feel about the rate of acquiring skin tickets? It's way too low, but at the same time, I don't think this makes it. I just don't think that they're ever going to be in a situation. We're going to say adequate. Even though I think it's too low, here's my reasoning why I'm going to say adequate. It's because they don't. I can't imagine. This is the only game I've ever played where essentially if you just are diligent about it, you can get every skin for free. And skins in this game, because of how the unit engine works, are essentially they have to make assets for a whole new character just to sell it to you at the cost of 1,800 Skystones, which you probably have saved up. That basically means that you aren't actually they make no money off of skins, which is why I think they don't make them all that much outside of the Epic Pass ones. So I think if we said that they were too low, they would have less incentive to make skins for us. So I think we'll say adequate for now. How do you feel about implementing a skip ticket system? No, I don't want skip tickets. So for those of you guys who don't know what a skip ticket system is, this is essentially like, I have proven that I can beat Wyvern 13, right? So I will spend 20 skip tickets to instantaneously clear 20 Wyvern 13 runs. You could take all my stamina, but I have the skip tickets to get the rewards like now. The reason why I don't like that is because, one, it kind of like defeats the purpose of like having the hunt teams built in the first place. And it's just, it's like, it just helps whales. Like if you say yes with unlimited, this is basically saying, I would very much like to pay money to be able to just skip a huge portion of the game and get to the gearing portion. Like, unfortunately, gearing is a part of Epic 7. And you still should have to work for it. It should just be a lot easier than it is, but it shouldn't be instant at the cost of money. How do you feel about unequipped cost? Removed entirely. I don't think a single person is not picking this first one. It is a garbage mechanic from a relic from when the game first came out, and the response we got when we asked for it to be removed in the first year was it would drastically impact Guild Wars. No one cares about Guild Wars right now, except for the very, very tippy top guilds like Talentless. The entire player base, I think like a good 95% of your player base is going to want to pick this option. Would you like the craft and change buttons on EEs to be switched? Yes, I've made this mistake so many damn times when going to Hall of Trials. It is so obnoxious. In some instances, the back button feature does not return to the user previous screen. Would you like the back button to always return to the previous game? Yeah, yes. Good quality of life change. Which quality of life would you like for summoning penguins in the Sanctuary? Please add the larger summoning option. I would love to do 100 at a time. This is how most people make their money now off on recorded history. Would you like a crescent shape added to profile cards? Yes, please, 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 please. If you added a crescent shape to profile cards, I will. If they add this, I will go on record right now. I will pay Byakko $25 that day to make me an art card. Byakko, if you're watching this, that day, bro. I want a Ryoko profile card so bad it cannot be done without a crescent shape. Do you think that expedition should be completed using background battling? Yes, but only one expo at a time. I've made this mistake. I wish this could be a thing. Do I currently read the Epic 7 story? I read all of it. Would you be more invested in it if it had voice acting? Yes. We are in 2023. If Goddess of Victory Nikke can have every story cutscene voiced, and Honkai Star Rail can have every cutscene voiced, and the total file size of all of this is like 150 megabytes, there's like no reason why it shouldn't be in the game. The only reason that you don't have the entire story voiced is because you want to save money. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but E7 is making more money now than it has any time in the past couple of years. Like, reinvest a little bit, guys. I'm just asking. How do you feel about the number of anime cutscenes currently? I'm happy with them. I don't think we need a ton of anime cutscenes. Those kind of kill the budget. Like, to pay for an animated cutscene, like you would see in episode 1, right? Those anime-style cutscenes, the PV. I've noticed a lot of people are complaining, no PV for the start of episode 5. Bro, those things take like hundreds of thousands of dollars to produce one of those. If they don't think it's good for their return on investment, they're not going to spend it, right? Like, E7 makes like between $4 and $7 million a month, right? Would you like to spend like 1/8 of your monthly budget on an anime cutscene, or would you like to have some like honest to goodness real improvements to the game? I think the obvious, at least to me, is to have improvements to the game. How do you feel about adding a dorm or housing system to E7? They have this in Final Fantasy 14. I super didn't care when it came out then. Do you want an option to downgrade higher quality runes? Yes, this would be a thing. I have a lot of tier 2 runes, but I'm always missing 1s and 3s. I would love the ability to go both ways. Would you like a reroll device option to add to Automaton Tower? Sure, because why not? Again, make things easier. Would you like energy in your mailbox to be able to use while auto battling? Yes. Would you like this is actually very hard to do, I feel like, for programming. Maybe there's somebody out there who would know better, but like I feel like that'd be a pretty rough workaround. Would you like mailbox rewards to be auto-claimed if they're going to expire? Yes. Would you like the number of friend slots to be increased? I am indifferent about this one. Do you think that we need additional artifact storage slots? Actually, no. I'm going to say yes because there's no reason not to, right? But I don't really think we do. Currently, people can join expos and leech to 0. Do you think this needs to be addressed? I'm going to stay out of this because there's a time and place where like a new player might need the 0. Like, what are you going to do? Do you going to punish a new player because they're desperate for help? Like, that's whatever. Like, that's kind of terrible. So I'm just going to stay out of this one. Would you like more team slots? I'm fine paying gold. I'm not paying Skystones for another team slot. Man, there's still 3 more pages, man. This is a long one, Josh. How do you feel about the lobby background update? I actually like this one a lot. How do you feel about the release rate of limited banners this year? I think it's spaced well. Overall, I think our like limiteds, like they weren't like the overall number we've gotten in the year is fine. I guess I say slightly too fast because of the collab reruns, right? How do you feel about the newly released Moonlight Blessing Fallen Lands? I like them. I'm not gonna say no to an ML5 for free. How do you feel about the newly released hero Veronica? I do not have this hero yet currently, so I cannot comment on it. How do you feel about the released draft mode? We need more heroes. We need the collab heroes. I know you guys don't have the IP, but like we need Edward, we need Karina. They're really important to the state of the game. And if you can't add them, then you need to add base characters with the same kits and then just make those characters like Edward is a skin of whatever your new base character is. Like that just needs to be a thing. Please and thank you. Would you prefer the gear and side stories where it's level 80? Yes, I don't think anyone would. A level 88 and 90 are the only things that are viable in this game. Stop giving me 78 like the current anniversary event. What are your thoughts episode thus far? I'm indifferent about this because I'm currently playing through it and I'm only on chapter 2. I'm gonna say I like, actually, you know what? I'm gonna say I like the story and characters because I met Fumir, and that girl is amazing. If you are in episode 5, how do you feel with the Tree of Life mechanic compared to the other unique mechanics in previous episodes? This is like the weird challenge mode things, right? I'm indifferent on this one because I haven't really cleared them yet. I'm aware of them, but I have not cleared them. How do you feel about the summer event imprint mechanic? We hate that. Never gonna see that again. How do you feel about the double speed? I love it. 3x is overkill, guys. How do you feel about the unrecorded history revamp? We love that. It's broken. It's the best way to make money in the game. How do you feel with the Google Play? I want an actual standalone, honest-to-goodness Epic 7 client. If Goddess of Victory Nikke can have a standalone client after 4 months of the game coming out, and they were making less money than E7 at that time, there is no excuse. Which answer best fits your feelings about the most recent balance patch? It was not enough. How do you feel at the rate which balance adjustments are done? Way too damn slow, bro. How often do you think they should be conducted, right? It should be like every 6 weeks instead of 8. Or at month, not monthly. That's like how like League does it, right? The number of heroes needs to be increased significantly, bro. We have literally been almost 2 years where first pick Conqueror Lilius is the best thing. Maybe you should look at that. Just saying. How do you feel about the quality of balance patches overall? I think they rarely hit the mark, if I'm being real with you. I'm trying to be optimistic, but I think in hindsight, they rarely hit the mark. What are your specific thoughts about how balance patches are conducted and the heroes and artifacts should... a lot of characters and artifacts, but only a small tweak to each. Like, I would like to see like a balance patch with like 20 or 30 characters and they all get one small thing. And then that way you can look at it next month and go, oh, the change we made to, I don't know, we'll just pull a name out of a hat, like Last Rider Crow. It wasn't enough. Let's give him a small tweak again. And then you could just incrementally look and see like, oh, after these 3 small tweaks, now he's starting to have a positive win rate and players are picking him. All right, he's balanced. And then you go along with your day. Which heroes or artifacts do I think need buffs the most? Who's the worst? Teiyu, bro. Teiyu is bad, bro. I'm just going to stay with Teiyu. Teiyu is the first one that jumped in. Teiyu is definitely... How do you feel about nerfs? I want nerfs. I know I'm in the minority in this one, guys and girls. I want nerfs. I come from a card game background. I'm perfectly fine with bans and erratas. I think that if humans make mistakes, I would rather you rip the band-aid off and make the game a better place here and now than like make your customers suffer through a horrible format. On a scale of 1 to how much do you want an E7 anime? Let's go. Oh, wait, you know what? 9. We'll say 10 is a good option, but I'm going to say 9 just because even though I really want it, I'm afraid they won't do it justice. Like, I just finished the live action One Piece, and I thought it was great, actually. But, like, rarely does the adaptation for, like, an anime or, like, a live action anime ever hit the mark, and I'm cautiously optimistic. Would you buy the art book and then say if it was released in another region? Yes. If you could choose... What IP would you like? This is so easy, bro. If you didn't watch my video, it is so easy. Nier Automata. Would you buy other Epic 7 merchandise if it was available to buy locally? Yes, frequently. All day, every day. What are your final thoughts you'd like to relate to Small Game about Epic 7? This could be positive. Focus on the new player. Intermediate. Yeah, or the new player experience. It's too difficult to get gear and characters to be able to clear many aspects of the game or play RTA. Thank you, winky face. And that's it. We're done. It only took like an hour. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun watching me go through this with my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you took the survey, what you're looking for down in the comments below. if you are around this weekend, I will be doing a watch party for the Epic 7 2023 World Championship over on my Twitch. I'll link that down in this video's description. Come watch it. As long as the World Championship is live, I'll be live alongside it. You can get some Twitch drops if they're available, all that wonderful, cool swag. Hope to see you there. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.